3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
For everyone who should be watching, we did moody, angsty teenager poses.
Yes!
To open the show with. This is Lady and the Gent, and you've hit a very special night. We've even dressed the part. I went way back into the Wayback Machine, and I can't believe I dug out baby doll barrettes.
Yes.
The fact that I'm 34 and still have them in my house means I'm a hoarder.
Yes.
And I need help.
Them on you.
I don't know why they're still in the bottom of this tin that I have full of barrettes and things and hairbands I haven't seen since like the 90s. And I knew I still had them surprisingly, and when I went and dug through my entire outfit, which is up on our page, even down to the Doc Martens I bought when in 96 I went to England for high school on a school trip with a lot of my friends, very cool. My big purchase, the Flower Docs. I knew that I went into my closet and I excavated them from the bottom of the closet, which was dangerous. What's that movie? The Descent?
Yeah, the West Virginia.
Yeah, I almost got eaten alive by like old clothes and suitcases. And I got the shoes, and I can't believe I found these things. There's a flannel shirt. There's the 1994 Downward Spiral Tour t-shirt that still fits or fits again, so that's cool. Oh yeah. It's going to get crazy in here, kids.
Yes.
And I hope everyone's prepared, and we've definitely invited a few people. We personally invited a few people from a friend from way back to the beginning of like me being friends with people. We have another good friend that should be calling in a little bit too, but anyone's invited if they want to grab, if you still have access to the journal from back in high school. I can't believe I do. Again, I keep everything, bad or worse. If you want to share what you were like then and what you're like now, and if things have changed. I was reading through this journal and I noticed that some stuff hasn't changed. And I'm going to address that.
Well, if you didn't know,
Shocking.
This is Teenage Hustling.
Indeed.
Our flashback of what would you say to your teenage self, since people say that, you should forgive and
or forgive or
love your inner child, but frack your inner child. What about your stupid teen years?
Okay, so there's the inner child that you love. Then what do you do to the inner teenager?
Yeah.
Because we all still have, I feel like, the inner teenager in us somehow.
Yeah.
And maybe that could manifest when you get like angry or pissy at something, or things just kind of get to you like that, like they did back then, or maybe you're hot-headed, or your depression. I mean, a lot of stuff can trigger those. Those feelings were really intense. I think anyone can agree. Maybe even like the coolest kids still had some crap going on, even though they didn't look like it to me. Yeah. Real quick, we should each explain how we were in high school real fast.
Right. Wait, before we do that, it's appropriate we're doing this because 22 years ago, not that yet, 22 years ago on the exact day today, on this Thursday, what show premiered?
22 years ago?
Yeah.
My So-Called Life?
No.
Oh.
Beverly Hills 90210. That's right.
My So-Called Life is 22 years old.
Beverly Hills 90210, the TV show that changed the television landscape forever and what advertisers wanted out of networks.
The TV show that I thought high school would be like, and then it was completely a lie.
In California. Yeah. That's why I never wanted to move to California.
It wasn't like that in South Jersey or North Jersey, where we grew up. Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. Okay, so real quick, do you want to do you real quick as a teen to give everyone a basis, then we'll jump from there?
Well, I was going to just start off, I would tell my teenage self, get off the couch, you fatso.
Okay.
Do something with yourself.
We have to. Yeah, but how would your teenage self text that? It is very easy for us to sit here, you know, and for anyone to like sit here and be like, stop being a cranky dumbass and stop eating all that food. I would tell my teenage self that all of that catches up with you.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunately what happened with me. And I had a bad self-image, meaning I thought I was fat and ugly. That's what that meant. I definitely was depressed, but I still had fun. I was not a loner because I had a lot of friends, a lot of different groups of friends, and we had a lot of fun. We had a ton of fun. I mean, different chunk and different faction of friends, we had a ball together.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for that. And I'm still in touch with almost all of them because of the magic of social networking, which I appreciate, because I miss them, and it's cool to be in touch and for us to be grown-ups together.
Yeah.
And we still have a good time because I just spent, a few weekends ago, I just spent some time with a bunch of them, and it was very cool. But I was a lot sadder. I was not happy. Reading the journal, it's shocking.
It was rising.
How unhappy I was, and it's almost a little like, unnerving.
Well, it was the first Bush years, and it was the rise of the Clinton years, which were wonderful for music, actually.
It was
I love those years.
Let me tell you,
gas was 79 cents.
Do you remember when gas was cheaper?
We didn't get into any wars after the first Gulf War, and Clinton didn't want to do any wars or anything like that.
The music was great. The TV was great.
Yeah.
You know, who didn't love Again My So-Called Life? Let me go back to that. That's when it was really real for me. I still listen to
I was too busy watching the end of Knots Landing, The Golden Girls still, and I was home on Saturdays watching Sisters and eating.
Sisters. Okay, so back to the eating thing.
Cheez-Its.
But what about your yourself back? Would you consider yourself a sad kid?
Yeah.
I know you had friends though.
Not until junior year.
Really?
Yeah.
So you were more of the loner.
I don't know. I just didn't make friends that well.
Oh.
Because I moved around so much.
You're so friendly.
I moved around. No, I moved so. I moved around so much as a kid that I never had footing until I was in Harrison. So.
All right, so that's tough. So
Yeah.
maybe you felt like a little displaced or something.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
So.
A little bit of an outsider.
Yeah, people were mean.
People were mean. I mean, people were mean to my friends and I as well. But we kind of banded together to create this group of, well, we don't care then.
Yeah.
And we would kind of like give it back to them in a way. That was something that it was, I guess, a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
What we wanted to do. Shall we go to my first...
Your so-called life? Let's go to your so-called life.
Okay, look, I mean, I found, again, I keep everything, maybe I have a problem. But it's cool to have the journal. I don't know how many people journal anymore. I guess social media, like
well,
Facebook,
that's what blogs are for.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Get a Tumblr. Get with it, Allison.
Wait a second. This wasn't meant to be seen by anyone else but me. This was therapy. So and so what I'm getting at is, are people taking their stuff that should be therapy in private and then putting it out there? Because if you put the stuff that's in here on Facebook, there'd be one crazy messed up kid that the world saw, and that's kind of like a cry for help and disturbing. So maybe think about it before you do your little wah on Facebook or your blog.
Yeah.
Think about maybe that should go in a journal. Maybe go back to the journal times. And if you need to have private time, or maybe just go back to therapy. Because some people, we could all use it. But anyway, a lot of stuff in here was pretty dark, and I was a little disturbed myself.
Were you sullen and morose?
I was angry.
You were angry.
Yeah, and I know that I still get angry now, but it was kind of like, where the writing gets crazy, and I'm like, rah!
Petulant.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, Allison. All right, so this one's a little more lighthearted. I didn't want to get too deep because, I don't know all you people.
No. At least not yet. It's still our pilot season.
Yeah.
Just like Buffy, we know. We have our growing pains.
Yeah, that's fine. That's Growing Pains is written all down here. This is a book full of growing pains, but it's mine and I'm proud.
Each other.
All right, so March 15th, 1996, Friday, 12:05 p.m.
Let's hit the milieu. What was going on in 96? I was starting my freshman. I was in the midst Where's that? 96? You weren't. That was before you graduated.
Yep, before I graduated. School. Yep, this is senior
okay.
year.
So I would have been in my second semester at Ramapo.
Okay.
Yeah, and listening to like La Bouche.
All right. The mouth.
The mouth, and getting myself, prepped for clubbing and missing Sherry Freeman, my best friend in high school, and driving to William Patterson at all hours of the night, and almost failing out of Ramapo.
But we're lucky you didn't, because I wouldn't have met you. And
I was saved by Melissa Sack. When Melissa told me she was going, I didn't drop out.
Yay, thank you, Melissa.
Yeah, I almost said
one of our really good friends till today. Still,
I hated Ramapo so much
until we came.
Yeah,
until I came.
That freshman year, I was miserable.
Oh.
But I had no roommate, which was great, so I had a room to myself to be sullen and morose and wear my green Aeropostale flannel. All
right, so here we go. March 15th, 1996, Friday, 12:05 p.m. Quote, "This is for all the lonely people, thinking that love has passed them by." End quote.
This is a few days after my birthday, too.
Oh, that's funny. Could this song have come at a better time? Question mark. SHS Disco Dance Night. I had fun, but something was missing. What is it? Oh yeah, I know. Gross James and his rad pewter dragon for Gross Steph. The holy couple slow dancing. Like they have sex all the time.
Angry Carrie.
Maybe Crystal and Rich looking cute at the Medport Diner. Or Maria leaving with Joe. Surprise of the night. She really likes him. Good luck. Or Jess at her boyfriend's birthday party at his apartment. Even though I even thought I saw Colleen and Alex arrive to the dinner in a limo? What's with this insane couple night? Please stop. When is it my turn?
Sounds like
what am I doing? This is the sad part. What am I doing so wrong that no one cares? I know it's my looks. I'm trying to lose weight, but I have to do more. Get serious, Allie. Hurry before it's too late. I have to crack down and work hard, or else. Okay. She's gonna have an aneurysm.
Because it sounds like us
Because it sounds like something we might have said yesterday. That's also one of the other reasons why I picked this passage. A lot of them were like not sad times. Some of them were like me crazy angry times that were a little too much for a half-hour show that's supposed to be lighthearted as well.
Entertaining. Yeah. We're here to entertain you on authentic media.
Right.
We're the entertainment.
Exactly.
We're not here for your entertainment.
So what I did is like I picked this, I looked at it, I read it last night, and I realized I'm 34 and this is still an ongoing issue.
Yeah.
An issue with me and my looks, me having a problem with my looks. Ironically, I'm trying to get back to the size I was in high school because I wasn't fat, but pretty much I always thought I was because I had a body dysmorphia thing in my head about just always looking in the mirror and seeing someone ugly. I'm not saying that fat is ugly, it's just that it was the bad word that I used to call myself ugly, and thinking I wasn't pretty and no one liked me, and realizing now, here we go, here's the little tie-in, here's what we're going to play with the lesson.
Don't go chasing waterfall.
If I still think that way, it's not going to happen, so I have to stop. And reading this and looking like, in my worst days right now, I go back to that 17-year-old or whatever, where I'm like, I'm ugly, I'm gross. I don't really think that way as much as I used to, but when stuff gets really bad, or I let the depression, like the core, basic, like id depression creep in, that's what it's saying. It's saying exactly what it says right here in these pages, when stuff gets really bad in my head. But I know now what I've learned, because I have grown, is that I'm going to put it out there, and that's what's going to come back to me is just yucky nothing. Or I'll attract some person who feels the same way about themselves.
Yeah.
And then I'll see that guy and I'll be like, ew. But why is he the one coming up to me? Because I'm just like, ew about myself.
Yeah.
So that's what I know now that I didn't know then. When those thoughts still come into my head, I can at least go, all right, delete, or take it away. Something like that. But I did, ironically, when I picked this, I thought about me and you.
Yeah.
I thought about a month ago, I had the wah-wah couple talk with you on the phone.
Yeah.
Because I was at a party and the only other person without a boyfriend was the 4-year-old. Okay? Besides me. So, I had one of those.
By 4-year-olds.
No, it was just me and the 4-year-old girl, and everyone else was a couple. And I was feeling like, bleh. So that's why, so here it is, like, back all those years, reflecting back, but at least I know what to do. I'm putting myself out there and being more positive about it than I was then, just hating on myself, being depressed, not being positive. Being positive was the hardest thing that I'm definitely still learning, probably for you too. And do we want to go talk to our friend who's on the line?
Yes, you ought to know.
Oh my gosh, very good friend. I know Lisa's in the queue. We can speak with her now. Lisa, would you like to say hello and share with us? Hello, Lisa?
Sure.
Hi, girl. Did you enjoy?
We hear you.
Did you enjoy that little blast? I know you didn't know me back then. We all know each other from college, but did you enjoy the reading, the dramatic reading?
The dramatic reading on Lady and the Gent.
Yes. You said it with such flourish too.
Thank you. So, sweetie, what would you like to talk about? What do you want to share?
Well, I'm gonna, to kind of be on topic. When I look back at some of the things that I used to kind of journal and write about, like, I'm kind of like appalled at myself now in that when I was younger, even though I was saying a lot of nonsense, I was so much braver than I am now. I really was way more willing to put myself out there, and I'm like, what happened to me? Like, what?
Yeah.
When did I become such a chicken?
That's interesting. Like the exact opposite, almost, of a lot of us.
I need to kind of recapture, like, more, like, the essence of my youthful enthusiasm.
I like
I think that's kind of what I mean, really, when I look at some of the things I wrote, it's so appalling.
That's part of the fun.
Like, you know what? You took chances.
Yeah.
Where are you?
You know what, then? That's exactly, you just said you took chances. That's exactly what you have to say to yourself now. Maybe it's that what is that, like, jaded adulthood, or, like, life beats us down or something. And it's like, knowing even more people and everyone's a critic. So go back to your younger self and say, I don't care if it's going to be appalling, just take a chance and write what you need to write and start there.
Yeah, because I know it's interesting to hear you say that you got more fear and scared as you got older, because I've been the opposite, because I felt for myself, I felt more of a victim then, and I felt more sorry for myself then, and it wasn't until I started my 20s and I had to get out on my own, and that I had to learn to stop feeling sorry for myself. And it's just something that you just have to, like, I don't know, I started to see what I was attracting in my life and the people around me, and I was like, I just don't want this anymore. I don't want to feel like this anymore.
But realizing it.
Yeah.
And that was a cool thing when you told me this today, Lise, before you just called in. You said, the craziest thing is the difference. It's like, whoa, I was like, just more open then with, I guess, when you're just basically talking about what you were writing, because we know you're a writer, like taking chances on that kind of thing.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. Go out there again. Put I don't think, did you wear baby doll barrettes back in the day? Even if it has to be something, I know this is kind of like hokey, but if it's like put on the outfit, or it's like put on the thing, from yesteryear, and throw on that one song. I was playing Reptile today, Lisa. Put on that one song or something that, like, takes you, like, whips you back, like in the DeLorean real quick. And maybe it's even like you could start back there, but you're grown-up you, and, like, get a little more fearless and just start.
Were you less afraid of what? Sorry, were you less?
I have, like, this weird hang-up in that I used to write so much when I was younger, all the time, constantly writing.
Yeah.
And I was very confident about it.
Right.
So, as I got older, just being exposed to a lot of other people's writing, and I kind of got myself into a weird block where now I'm afraid to fail, I think.
Okay. Afraid to fail. Are you afraid of criticism too? Were you?
I think I'm afraid. Like I'm my own harshest critic.
Yeah.
Right. For sure.
Yes.
Like I'm just like don't you. Like I said, like I'm too precious about it. I think right now.
That's what you have to do.
If I could just break that cycle.
Do even something small, even if you think it's like crazy or silly, do it to break the cycle. And then, maybe it'll be easier for you to get serious about it and not be as afraid. It's like you just have to put one thing out there, or write a little thing and show us, or maybe some of us, and be like, hey guys, read it. And it's just, then you just released it. You gotta I know with some of the stuff I've done, or even with photography, and I had a show with friends, and it was almost like I was scary to hang it on the wall. And it was funny because my one good friend who has been in art shows forever is like, you look like you're babysitting your work, because it was like I was afraid to step away from it. He's like, it's okay, you can walk away, and I did, and someone bought something, and some people said they liked it, and even if they didn't, that was just, I had to put it up and walk away. So you've got to write it down, hand it out to whoever. I'd love to read it, of course, whoever you want to give it to, and let that happen, and then it'll get easier. That's what I think, But thank you for calling in, my love. I appreciate it. We're going to skip real quick. We love you, girlie. I'll talk to you later. We're going to jump to Krissa. Krissa, my oldest, bestest friend since we were 2, I believe. Hello, Krissa. Are you there?
Hello.
Hello. We've been through a lot of angst together, her and I.
Yes, we have.
Pretty much a lifetime. I mean, that's definitely safe to say. Krissa, I know you're going to share something from back in the day with us. Please do.
Oh, I have so much. I was so excited when I heard that this was the topic of your show. And then I went back through all of the stuff that I had saved from, middle school and high school, and I just want to go back there and smack myself in the face.
It's like, shut up! What's wrong with you?
She saves it too. That's
very
my girl.
Along the lines of what you had gone through back then.
Yeah. Yeah. Just hating, you just didn't like yourself. I didn't like me. It, that's the tough part. Do you have a poem for us? I know you write poetry. All right, let's snap for Krissa.
Poetry corner.
I'll read this, and no one's allowed to laugh.
All right, honey, it's okay. Go ahead. I love you for doing this, by the way.
Okay, and I should preface this by saying this was something I wrote for a poetry project, I think junior or senior year with Mr. Moran, and I actually gave him this.
I remember him.
My project, and I'm thinking, and I just look at it and think, what was I thinking? So it's called Ignored.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
Okay. I am alone, left to be ignored. I sit alone, they sit together. I am ignored, a leaf in the wind, blown from one person to another. Some notice, all ignore. I am alone. I am called. They are children picking up the leaf, but they soon lose interest, and I am once again ignored.
Oh my. Okay, snaps for Krissa. Thank you for sharing, sweetie. Did this go into one of those when Shawnee would put out the poetry books, or those?
We had to do some kind of project for poetry class where we had to give poems that we liked or give our own poems. So that was in there. And I think it was this whole, I was just feeling left out of everything moment.
Yeah.
And so I wrote it down hey, look at me, I'm ignored, feel pity for me.
Yeah.
But that's what, that was the time, that's what would happen at that age, really. So what would you say, you now, you're looking at the Krissa then, who just wrote the poem and handed it to you and you read it. What are you going to say to her?
What would your adult self say to her right now?
I would say to get over it.
Suck it up.
We're harsh, huh?
was a lot of my own doing. I cut myself off a lot.
Okay.
I did that too.
You kind of understand this because we did this. We both did this. Is that you feel so low?
Yeah.
That you kind of wallow in your own misery and don't want to deal with it. So you just want to feel even more miserable. And
because the comfort in it.
All I had to do was get up from wherever I was sitting, go talk to somebody.
Exactly. But it's being comfortable in that depression because it's like yours, That's see, just something that easy. Be like, get up and talk to someone. Come on.
Yeah, it's so hard to see the bigger picture.
It is, but it's cool now, and it is. And even looking through the journal like I did last night, and you reading that, it's kind of cool now to go back and have that perspective.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, babe. I appreciate it.
All right, love you guys. I'll
love
you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
That was awesome. I'm so glad. Do you want to hear one?
Jagged little pill.
Do you want to hear one of mine?
Sure.
Okay, we have time.
We got 4 minutes. Yes.
4 minutes. Here's some snazzy poetry about a boy.
It's about a boy.
There were a lot of crappy boys that I liked, and here's one.
Most of them were gay, right?
No, none of them were gay. I never had Curse the Pink One. I knew better.
Okay.
January 17th, 1996, 11:43 p.m. Wednesday. Well, it's 11:40 p.m. Everyone's asleep, but I'm not, because my feet hurt. I shoved them in this morning, tight black buckles, 3-inch heels, because sneakers aren't sexy. They don't attract the raging hormones of 17-year-old boys. Did you even notice? Maybe if I shoved the heel between your eyes. My feet hurt.
Single white female.
My heart's been pounded with a hammer. I guess my feet were jealous. You talked of 12-year-olds. And my feet hurt. Is it worth it? I'll wear sneakers tomorrow. Come on! Give me props!
We should go on Portlandia with these.
That should go, yeah. I actually got the idea real quick because a couple years ago I read that a lot of poetry slams in cafes around the cities like New York and around were doing nights where they're like, everyone bring in your teenage journal and let's read it live. And I thought it was so cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to try it out. When you were mentioning what would you say to your teenage self, I was like, you have to do the journal thing. And I'm glad I did. It was really kind of eye-opening to open this up this week and go through it. I might read more.
Where's this from? Hallmark?
It's actually, and Craig bought it for me.
Oh, of course.
It's a birthday gift from my first gay best friend.
From the first gay.
But you're the real one that's
the real gay.
Craig was a beta test. You're the one that stays.
Yes.
Because he's no longer in my life. Too bad.
Well, he moved to the city, I told you, and he's friends with some of the Gotham periphery.
Ironic.
6 degrees of separation.
Maybe I'll see him at a party and we can ignore each other.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Like, remember the times, well, that's for later, but remember the times I showed up at his house by accident?
So weird.
I was living in Central Coast.
All gay men are connected in some way. They all know each other eventually. It's the gay mafia. Anyway.
Right. I want to leave with one quote from me.
Okay, go ahead.
And since we're doing this, I remember listening to Miss Wendy back in the day, like I did.
Yes.
When she was on Shot 97. And she came back from Philly after New York left her for dead. And Russell Simmons was on her show. And he said, and this stuck with me since like I was working at the cash wrap at Kmart.
Nice.
Is he made the best decisions for the time he was in.
That's perfect.
So people, even if you're going to want to yell at your inner child, you made the best decisions for the time you were in.
After you're done giving your angsty inner teen, shut up and get over it.
Get over it, you dumb bitch.
Give them a hug. Give yourself a hug. Because you're beautiful, and it's okay that you went through stuff, and you're still learning and growing. This has been a really fun episode.
Yes.
I found the baby doll barrettes. I can't believe it.
We're gonna do the Cabbage Patch tour and the music.
Thank you, God. I'm gonna mosh because I didn't Cabbage Patch. I was mosh pitting.
I don't think I can.
I'll try and crowd surf, but I don't know if you can lift me. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching.
We love you for listening
we will
and
be
watching
back
and watching now.
Next week.
The scenario.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Ooh, look at that fade out. We should just...